Yeah, you want to see something? Wait, no, let me introduce the podcast first. Oh, welcome to the Pinball Podcast. I'm your host, Liz. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Marcus.
My mic was muted. Hi.
Hi. How are you today?
A little underwhelmed, to be honest.
Fuck, brother.
I didn't really like tonight's Dynamite.
You want to see something you will like?
What's that?
Wait, hang on.
You think this is funny?
The egg.
Is this funny to you?
This is the best day of my life. The egg now has sexy lips and a top hat.
You have desecrated a world-renowned sacred trophy with your fucking props. Is this a joke to you? And now you kiss it.
Gotta kiss the egg.
That thing should be in a fucking glass box. And yet.
Yeah, it's in a glass box of fucking emotion right now.
More like a glass box of disappointment.
My egg is so sexy. Mm-hmm. Look at his little lips. These are DSLs, baby.
And there's not even a pay-per-view for me to win it back this weekend. There's nothing.
Oh, wait, should we... Hang on. You're right. I'm disrespecting egg. Get a little lip gloss on there. Beautiful. It's plumping too, so it's gonna make these DSLs like hoovers.
Next time I'm winning that, you're never getting it back. I promise you. If there was a pay-per-view this weekend...
we're gonna get you little like earrings. Ooh!
If there was a pay-per-view this weekend, I would rip that thing right from your hands. I would go all in, research upon research for my predictions.
Are you upset?
Yes.
That your egg has found sexual liberation?
I am upset that you are desecrating our momentous trophy.
You don't love Rose? Okay. Egg!
How could you do this?
Ooh, Oh, we could give him like a little like...
All right, I'm done with this. AEW Dynamite. Put the egg down. We're talking about AEW Dynamite.
You know what's funny? At first I was like, oh my god, what if I like just like did my like lip print against the egg? But then I realized there were like ridges in the egg and I was like, we're never gonna get that off.
Plus that was a gift. Unbelievable. All right, AEW Dynamite. It was an episode. I was pretty excited for this episode, and it was kind of let down, to be honest. Not for any real reason. Stuff just wasn't as that entertaining, honestly. Especially the opening match, Wardlow vs Scorpio Sky.
Yeah, not great.
It was like kind of bad match, and I thought they made it a street fight so that Scorpio could retain and have it be believable against Wardlow. I wouldn't be upset if Wardlow lost. And have him like actually earn his way to it rather than have the golden donut.
True. That's true.
It was just so lame. And then we had Butcher and Blade versus Swerve in Our Glory. That was pretty fun. We had Dark Order making their entrance into Rochester, where they basically said they are not leaving. They're staying put. There was supposed to be some big proclamation, but they never really said it.
I think that was the proclamation, was that they weren't fucking off.
But no, they said, here's a proclamation. Or like after he said that, after Uno said that, he said, we have a proclamation and I'm going to let Brody Jr. say it. And that's when QT interrupted. And then they never said the proclamation.
I really thought that the proclamation was what Brody said. Oh, wait, no. He only said that he was going to beat QT's ass when he turned 19.
Yeah. Maybe we'll find out on Friday or something. I don't know. But we also had Penta Oscaro versus Roosh. That was pretty fun. Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir versus Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa. That was a really fun match. And we had John Moxley versus Brody King for the Interim Championship. That was a pretty fun match. All in all, not a big show. Yeah, not a big show. Nothing really impactful happened. I wouldn't even say Wardlow.
Well, that's tomorrow.
Anyway, I wouldn't even say Wardlow winning the belt was very impactful because, first of all, we all saw him winning the belt coming. Second, Scorpio's reign should not have ended tonight. It should have ended later and give him an actual substantial run. But this is the bullshit with the TNT title where it's like, it's all made up on the spot.
I'm not pissed about what happened with like the transference of the title per se. I'm not happy with the match. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Like, I'm happy Wardlow has something, but at the same time, I didn't want Scorpio to lose it.
No, I get that.
If Scorpio lost it, and as a result he left American Top Team, that would be worth it. That would be worth him losing it. But he didn't. Nothing came of it besides Wardlow now has a piece of gold.
You know what's interesting though? Ethan Page didn't come out.
He might be one of the people who has COVID. Oh wait, no. He was on last week when everyone had COVID.
I think that they might be trying to split Scorps and Page up.
I could see that. Scorpio's a really good face. Page is a really good heel.
Page is a fantastic heel.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that happening. And I thought we were gonna get that. But no, it ended up not happening.
Yeah.
But it's all weird stuff. You want to talk about some news?
Oh, I'd love to talk about the news, but only after I finish pulling all 5 bajillion and 9 pieces of hair at my back. All right. Now I've got hair on my lip gloss. The lip gloss I shared with the egg. Hopefully the egg doesn't have COVID.
You never know.
See. I've also got a cat fur on my lips. Thanks, Pete's. Wherever the fuck you are. Not a ton of substantial news, actually. Funny enough. Where should we start? WWE, not WWE, or AEW? Where do you want to start?
AEW.
AEWs? that implies that there's AEW news to talk about.
Okay.
And no, I'm kidding. There is some. So first things first, I'm gonna put this headband in. So as we know, Santana was carefully guided out of Blood and Guts last week because Santana broke himself a little bit. It appears, according to Tony Khan, who confirmed it, that Santana has a knee injury. And he didn't say a ton about the injury, but what he did say was kind of damning in that he said, quote unquote, it could be a relatively long injury.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Also want to thank...
It was actually...
Sorry, we just got a little follower. Thank you, Islam Pride, for following. Welcome.
Rock on. Yes, thank you. Apparently it was recently speculated, and I didn't actually see this news, but it was apparently recently speculated that Santana was actually on his way out of AEW. So this comes hot on the heels of that.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a time where a lot of people are leaving AEW for whether it be WWE or other places. It's very interesting, especially with all these former WWE guys, these really big guys coming along and being given the spotlight. It's very interesting to see where these other guys like Santana go. Unfortunately, we probably won't see Santana anywhere. Yeah. But all this talent going elsewhere, it could help make other promotions shine and elevate them. Maybe not to the level of like AEW, but maybe to the level of like a GCW.
Yeah. Completely true.
Yeah.
Other AEW news. I guess this is sort of AEW. In case you were wondering, because, you know, Chris Jericho wasn't on tonight's episode of AEW, and of course, I'm sure everybody who watches this is like, when am I going to see Chris Jericho next? Well, when it comes to AEW, I don't fucking know. However, when it comes to Impractical Jokers, Chris Jericho is going to be appearing on this current week's episode of Impractical Jokers on Thursday, because one of the men whose names I don't remember.
Q? Brian Quinn?
No, the one that's not currently participating.
Joe.
Yeah, so Joe, one of the Impractical Jokers, is no longer with Impractical Jokers, or is not currently with. Yeah. And so right now they're filling in their seasons, or their current season with anybody else that's
different celebrity guests every week.
We have seen Q in a couple of different. He was actually at Money in the Bank, but he was also at a couple different AEW shows, and he's a big wrestling fan. So Chris Jericho is going to be on one of their shows this coming Thursday. And
also, Q said, I think it was in an interview, that he wants Impractical Jokers to work an angle with AEW. So hopefully we see
that could be interesting.
More than just Jericho on their show. We see those guys on AEW because they're fucking fantastic, hilarious guys, and I've heard from people who've worked on the show that they're just incredible.
They seem nice. Mm-hmm. And in other AEW news, less cozy news, if you didn't get enough Jeff Hardy slander for one night, there's some Jeff Hardy news.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy was supposed to have an arraignment and bond hearing Tuesday, which was yesterday. Hardy is now supposed to have this hearings on August 2nd. I guess that the court official was unable to confirm that the July 5th hearing went ahead. Mm-hmm. So Hardy is going to officially enter that plea of not guilty on August 2nd. I'm not shocked that the July 5th hearing didn't fucking happen.
Yeah.
That's not shocking to me at all.
This is going to be playing out for a while.
I just hope it gets kind of fucking solved and done soon, because, like, shit, brother.
Yeah.
Let's get it over with.
I just want him to get better.
Yeah. WWE news, because there's a fuck ton of WWE news. Our first piece of WWE is that apparently WWE executives, and this could be a fun piece of news in the future that we look back on and we're like, oh, apparently 2 of the most senior members of the WWE staff sold thousands of shares of WWE stock, with the total being worth plus $1.5 million. This news is coming from WrestleTalk and was apparently reported by Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics, who has a Patreon if you want to check that out. Apparently Frank Riddick of WWE, who is the CFO, and the executive president, Kevin Dunn, sold thousands of shares. Riddick sold 9,090 at $62.49 per share, which got him about $568,000. And Kevin Dunn sold 16,107 shares, and he got just about a little over $1 million. Apparently, it's not that crazy that this has happened. However, if you got a little WWE share on your hands, I want to slap that on the fucking table real quick.
Yeah. I got. Oh, you probably have this news already about a little promotion that might not be happening.
No, it's not in this part of the news.
Right.
But it will be in the part of later news.
Okay.
Another piece of news. If you were watching Great American Bash last night, you may have seen that there is a little certain somebody who, okay, so Mark and I are guilty of hearing things in our heads that aren't actually true, but that we go with as though it were gospel. So Mark and I were pretty much positive last night when we watched Great American Bash that this motherfucker, who is apparently debuting relatively soon, who's got a new gimmick and a new name and all that,
Axiom.
we were pretty much positive that he said he was Italian.
Yeah.
We were almost positive that he said he was Italian.
I thought I heard
Mr. Axiom. Hang on. We both thought we heard that he said that he was Italian. Yeah. Okay. So, that being said, we have a new name for a person. The name is Axiom. And it is almost 100% positive that this is a reboot for a kid who is not Italian. Yeah. So now, maybe Mark and I need to go back and rewatch that, but we were both positive that he said he was Italian.
While you continue with the news, I'm gonna do some research.
Okay, you do your research. Just for everyone's reference, if you don't know, A-Kid is not Italian, he is Spanish. But he is now Axiom, and I guess he's a math nut or something.
He's a fucking nerd.
Know. Yeah, he's a dork. Nah, I'm kidding. Listen, it's A-Kid. I'm sure whatever he does, it's gonna fucking shine. He's an incredible wrestler. He's an incredible WWE wrestler in that sense. I mean, he's good at giving promos, but
I'm gonna play it right now.
Mark is now going.
I'm gonna mute it for the stream,
yeah.
So you might be able to hear it. Just don't acknowledge it.
Yeah, you go ahead. I'm gonna start talking about other stuff that's happening. There are rumors that apparently, so as we know, Extreme Rules is sort of coming up in October. And by that I mean
he says Italian. He says, okay. I was a smart kid. It got me and all the other Italian kids bullied. Okay, so let's just make a very clear point that A-Kid is not Italian. He's Spanish. He's from Spain.
He's Spanish. He is from literal Spain. You know what? Maybe I don't know his family tree. Maybe he is Italian.
Yeah.
I guess WWE said Spain, Italy, the Mediterranean, same difference at the end of the fucking day.
Or
I think right?
Giovanni Vinci now has a new gimmick and hair. Or Tony D'Angelo has a new gimmick.
We have an Italian American. We have an Italian model. And we have Spain is on the Mediterranean. And we have now an Italian nerd.
Don't forget the Stacks.
2 Dimes.
No, wasn't 2 Dimes the one that was fired?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Stacks is still around.
Cheers to you, Stacks. So yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be fine. A-Kid is an incredible wrestler. He does a good promo too. Even in NXT UK, there is a little tiny bit of a language barrier, I think, but he was fine. Yeah. He was great. So I don't have any worries about him at all.
Incredible wrestler.
Funny enough, NXT UK breeds pretty incredible wrestlers.
It's because they pretty much dominated the UK scene. They stole all the big guys like Tyler Bate.
Yeah. And good for them, I guess. I don't know. Maybe pay them a living wage.
Yeah.
What do I know? Anyways, so going back to the news I was just talking about while Mark was spot checking us. Apparently, according to, we were not incredibly wrong, by the way, Mark. Extreme Rules is coming in October, and they released a poster for it. And the poster is missing Mr. Roman Reigns. Now, could that be because he's going to lose his title sometime soon? Possibly. However, in addition to Roman Reigns not being on the poster, neither is Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan. Neither of them are on the fucking poster either. Which makes a bitch wonder about the current state of affairs. We know Liv Morgan's not supposed to hold that title for very long. Bianca Belair's had the title for a little while. She's probably not going to hold on to it for much, much longer. I get a funny feeling that they're not on the poster because they are not going to be the champions come Extreme Rules.
Let me see this poster. Who's on it? Who's?
Seth, Bobby, Drew, Becky, Riddle, and Rhea. In Philly. Hey, you want to go to Philly?
Oh, wait, I see it. Okay. Imagine booking your champion on a fucking... Your world champion on a pay-per-view. But at the same time, these could be all the challengers. Minus Bobby, since he has the US title.
Given that this is after Clash at the Castle, and given my hopeful disposition, I think that these might be the champions given the moment.
No.
Drew gets his shit at Clash in the Castle. Maybe Becky gets it there too. She's not fucking American.
I'm gonna
European champions Clash at the Castle. I'm right. You're wrong. Can't wait to get the egg again.
I've got my little prediction here for you. I'm gonna say Drew loses at Clash at the Castle.
Fuck off! He's not even gonna have the title before then.
What do you mean he's not gonna have the title before? What are you talking about?
I'm saying that he's gonna be the champion after Clash at the Castle.
Well, when is Clash at the Castle? That's September, right?
September 3rd, I think.
Okay, so I'm saying Drew loses at Clash at the Castle against Roman. He then rematches at Extreme Rules, wins it, but then that motivates Theory to be able to cash in Money in the Bank, because they're gonna want a heel cashing in on a face.
Let me put this here real fucking straight right the fuck now. Anybody who's been watching this fucking show for long enough knows one thing and one thing alone, and that is that I will die on the Drew McIntyre hill.
Mm-hmm.
Should Drew McIntyre have the fucking title, and lose it to a cash-in from goddamn Austin Theory, I will never, ever, ever watch another WWE wrestling event. That is, I guarantee you that. I will put money down on it.
Thing.
In fact, I'll put my Peacock subscription down on it.
Here's the thing. There's no saying that Theory successfully cashes in. Let me see all the past Money in the Bank cash-ins. Cash-in matches. How many of the last ones were successful? So the last one that wasn't successful was 2018, 4 years ago, when it was a no contest. But before that, the last time they straight up lost was Baron Corbin in 2017, cashing in against Jinder Mahal. Oh no. Yeah, Jinder Mahal, and lost by DQ.
I don't trust Vince McMahon. That's where I'm leaving that. We have a ton of fucking news. I'm not gonna fucking sit on this hill and die on it right now. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna get mortally wounded and lay here for a little while.
Yeah, let's keep going. Let's blast through these.
Yeah. Sunny, or better known as Tammy Sitch, aka the person that got into a horrible DUI manslaughter accident, was apparently granted a public defender for her case. This happened back in March 25th is back when this happened. She faces a total of 9 charges, including DUI manslaughter, which that's a lot of fucking charges. She has like 5,000 other things on her right now. But right now, in addition to the DUI manslaughter, she's got she's 1,183 days overdue in making payments towards court cases connected to other DUI arrests in 2015 and 2016. And she now owes $4,554 to Carbon County in the Keystone State. I don't know what Keystone State is, but Wrestle Talk has said Keystone State, and therefore I'm going with it. Her pretrial hearing is scheduled for August 11th. So August is going to be full of a lot of fucking trials.
Yeah.
Also, Shotzi started speaking out after her complete exodus from Twitter, because she fucked up a lot in the women's Money in the Bank match, and a lot of people kind of came after her, which is fucked up.
I wouldn't say she fucked up a lot.
She basically said that she did
some botches.
She had some botches. It was a messy match in the first place, but it was not just her. She finally said, though, that like she wasn't about to do some shit that she wasn't comfortable doing in her first hardcore match in like a year.
Yeah.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
And it sucks that she has to delete her Twitter account because the people on Twitter are
horrible
bananas. Yeah. For lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Michelle Donnellan, who is a former WWE employee, is now the UK Secretary of State for Education. I'm going to read this somewhat directly from Wrestle Talk because I don't know shit about the UK government. Sorry. It says here, during a government cabinet reshuffle, former Secretary of State for Education, Nadeem Zahawi, was appointed the new Chancellor of the, I'm going to try this one, Exchequer?
Sure.
EXCHEQUER. You figured that one out. And now Michelle Donnellan is going to fill in Mr. Zahawi's previous position. So she went from WWE, just fucking around in there, to being in charge of the UK education system. Good for her. That's fucking climbing the goddamn ladder, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
She was originally the international marketing communications manager. I don't know where the fucking correlation is there, but great job, I think. Again, I don't know anything about UK politics, but I hope that's a good thing. Okay, let's talk about some non-WWE news, sort of. This will be our segue. Apparently, so OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling, has a streaming deal with Netflix. So it was Netflix that they have the streaming deal with. But now, according to Fightful Select, Netflix retains right of first refusal on the ability to gain OVW's television right. So basically, this means that they are kind of in charge of WWE and AEW having rights to any of this shit. Apparently, there's a lot going on here, but filming started for the series May 27th in Georgetown, Kentucky, and I guess they're still filming, and I'm so fucking excited for this. I cannot wait to watch this shit.
Yeah, this is new
I think
OVW,
this is gonna be so
right?
much fun. Yeah, like I think it's sort of like it's not tough enough, but like I think it's just filming the wrestlers as they are. It's a reality show for wrestling.
Yeah.
Which I know that like WWE has kind of had a stranglehold on like their television rights. But this is something that's been sorely lacking from media for a couple of years now. You know? Mm-hmm. Now that Rhodes to the top is gone, that's like that was the one thing that was there really. Because Ms. and Mrs. doesn't really give that like inside look at wrestling kind of shit, like you know? Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah. And it'll be really interesting because OVW is one of the most renowned indie promotions. Like they've formed some of the biggest wrestlers of all time, like John Cena, Brock Lesnar, among others. Like they've made some huge stars. But it'll be very interesting to see like what happens there. I know Raj Singh wrestles for OVW a lot. Same with Shara. So it'll be cool.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun show to watch. I can't wait to fucking watch it. Also, in somewhat semi WWE news, Tyson Fury is still fucking talking about coming back to WWE. And he has said that you might see him at SummerSlam or you might see him at Clash at the Castle. Who fucking knows? Apparently, though, Tyson Fury is in talks with the WWE regarding return. So, if you were excited for Tyson Fury to come back, there you go. Have fun. Yeah. Okay, so now let's talk about some not WWE news. And this is going to span the expanse of the independent scene, or not independent scene, but the not WWE or AEW scene. How's that? First things first, apparently the never open weight 6-man tag team champions. Here's a spoiler for New Japan Road. If you don't want to hear a fucking spoiler for the New Japan Road show, just wait 1 second, okay? This one. The new 6-man tag team champions are Goto, Yoshihashi, and Yo from Chaos. And they defeated Evil, Yujiro Takahashi, and Sho to win the titles on the July 5th show. So they've had the fucking House of Torture had the fucking titles for 241 days. That is a long fucking time for New Japan.
I think they've defended them once, maybe twice.
They just recently defended them against Zack, Despy, and Kanemaru.
Maybe 3 times.
I know that much. Yeah.
I've got a little news, if a non like indie news.
What indie news?
Starcast.
Oh, I don't have any StarCast news.
So another talent was announced for StarCast 5, which is the historic final match of Ric Flair. Announced for StarCast 5 is former CMLL World Lightweight Champion and multi-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Hiromu Takahashi. Now, again, this is the same with all the other fucking talents, whether they'll have a match or they're just there for signings. Who knows? They don't say this shit. They haven't announced any, like, they've announced a couple matches, but they're just showing talent names and not giving us, like, what they're doing.
Bless them. Bless them, truly.
Unless it's on their website. I'm going to check their website real quick.
While you check their website, I'm going to talk about Terminus. So while Mark figures out what the fuck StarCast is doing, Terminus has announced some fun matches. They're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia on July 21st at the Oasis Center. And we're going to see a rematch with Jay Lethal and Baron Black. Maybe Baron Black will win this time.
No. Wait, who's he fighting?
Jay Lethal again. It's a rematch.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. But the show is going to be headlined by Masha Slamovich. Christ almighty. Wish I could fucking talk. Masha Slamovich versus Queen Aminata. And we're also going to see Jonathan Gresham versus Mr. Takeshita. The Cinnabon boy.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be super fun. I'm so excited for that. Also, Takeshita's like super fucking tall, so that'll be an interesting dynamic. I think he's super fucking tall. He seems super fucking tall.
I think he's average height.
I'll look it up in a bit. Also, unfortunately, Willow Nightingale's TJPW debut has been delayed due to, what do you fucking think? It's actually not COVID. Visa issues. She was supposed to debut July 9th at the Summer Sun Princess event. I love the names that the women promotions in Japan have. They seem so fun. But the Summer Sun Princess event was supposed to have Willow, but unfortunately Willow is not going to be there because visa shit is taking a lot longer than it was supposed to, and she is going to be coming somewhat soon, but just not when they wanted her. So.
All right, there's more news.
Like 2 more pieces. One's easy. One is also a spoiler. So if you don't want another spoiler, just wait until I put my little fingers down, okay? Not that one. That was it. That was a cheat finger. There was a debut from AEW at Impact, and that debut, which you will see tomorrow, will be Mr. Alan Angels. He is fighting someone.
Mike Bailey for the X Division title. They already announced it on Twitter.
Yeah, so I guess I'm not really spoiling shit for you. No. But he is going to be there. That's going to be awesome. I'm super excited to see him, and I'm pretty sure that Alan is fighting Evil Uno later on at a different promotion. Also, MLW signed a UK television deal. They're going to be with IOZat TV, and they announced their partnership. They're going to be on UK TV on Wednesday nights, which is awesome because they're literally not on our fucking TV. So, MLW is going to air on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on Sky Channel 191 in case you're in the UK. And classic content from the company is going to be airing at Fridays at 9 p.m. And then let's talk about our final piece of news. And that is that Wrestling Entertainment Series.
2 left. That was 2.
Oh, sorry. I was talking about like before the like final piece. Wrestle Entertainment Series is canceled. There's your news. And put the fucking sign up either.
All talent has been paid.
All talent got paid. So
and they're refunding tickets. Hopefully that actually works.
Yeah, it was a sham. Not a sham. It was a fuck up to begin with, and I'm glad that everyone got paid. But
I wish we had more time to delve more into this, but we're a little strapped right now.
I don't have much more than what I just said.
No,
so.
I know, but we're already 44 minutes into the podcast.
No, what I'm saying is I don't have anything else besides what I just said.
Right, but we should be getting to the recap.
I cannot dive any further.
Well, there's in the letter that they posted, they basically blame the talent. They blame Lena Fanine, saying that she just didn't want to wrestle anymore. So very unprofessional.
Well, I'm glad we don't have time to delve into it.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, Christ.
And because I already we mentioned this before, there is kind of a card for StarCast. Jim Crockett Promotions, Ric Flair's last match. Obviously, Ric Flair's match.
Why would that happen?
We already talked about Josh Alexander versus Jacob Fatu. There's also Laredo Kid versus Taurus versus Ray Fenix versus Bandito in a 4-way match. For the Impact Knockouts title, there's Jordan Grace versus Deonna Purrazzo versus Rachel Ellering. Then there's Harry Smith versus Killer Cross. Then there's Motor City Machine Guns versus Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards, which is very interesting that they're teaming, even though they're enemies right now. And then there's Ren Narita versus Clark Connors. So, a whole wide range of talents and promotions there. All right, let's talk about Dynamite finally. So, we started the show with Wardlow versus Scorpio Sky in a street fight for the TNT Championship.
Yeah. We don't get very far in the match before Scorpio hits Wardlow with a low blow. After Wardlow hits him with a shoulder tackle. Wardlow goes knee first into the steps when we go ringside. And then all of America Top Team attack. And it's a street fight, so it doesn't fucking matter. You can do that. Wardlow is then put up top. Scorpio is like kind of trying to suplex the guy. He gets shoved off. Wardlow then swantons onto Scorpio. Wardlow ends up disposing of some man from American Top Team and disposes of him into the rest of American Top Team. Or American Top Team? Or America's Top Team? American. Okay, so he disposes of him into the rest of American Top Team. Scorpio tries to take advantage of this distraction, but Wardlow doesn't lay down for it, ends up doing his little symphony of powerbombs, and here I was thinking that Scorpio was going to be the one to kick out of the symphony of powerbombs. He did not. Wardlow pinned him, and Wardlow won to a cacophony of streamers and confetti of sorts.
Yeah.
And listen, I saw this coming from a mile away. I saw Wardlow getting this belt ages ago. I kind of wish he had more of like a feud, to say the least. To say the absolute least. I kind of wish he had more feud.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think it was the right time. They needed a little longer. Give them a longer feud. Let Wardlow kind of chase. Because that's where the story is. The story and the excitement, that's in the chase. This is very WWE of them.
Yeah.
But after that, we had a promo from Jon Moxley. He says, a lot of people lost a lot of money betting against me at Blood and Guts. They're licking their lips now, hoping someone will surprise me, give me a beating I'll never recover from. They think I know exactly what kind of monster I'm dealing with. Or don't know exactly what kind of monster I'm dealing with. Maybe you forgot what kind of monster you're dealing with in me. I took a man I admire and beat his face in. I was carving up guys in a steel cage. Tonight I stand to defend the title against Brody King. I know exactly who Brody King is. I know his friends and I know his enemies. How big is his heart? Does he have a monster-sized heart beating in that chest? When you step into the ring with anyone from Blackpool Combat Club, we find your limits and find out how bad you want it. Step up or get stepped on. This episode was also very full of promos. A lot of talking.
Yeah.
So then we had a promo from Tony Nese, and not all of it was necessary either. Like this one. Tony Nese is with Mark Sterling, and they walk up to Keith Lee, and Sterling says, "This is the people against Swerve Strickland. We're getting him removed from the roster. He removed you from the Battle Royal, so you should sign." Keith Lee says, "We have issues, but he's still my partner. We are still winning, unlike you." We then get a promo from Christian Cage. He says, "I'm the Cage everyone is talking about, even after Blood and Guts. You're now demanding the answers, wondering why Luchasaurus remained aligned with me." Matt Hardy then comes out. He says, "You're the Michael Jordan of being an asshole. Jungle Boy was my friend. He trusted you, respected you, and you screwed him over." Christian says, "You're going to pretend you're buddies with Jungle Boy. You're starting to make your brother sound like the sober one." And that's when the railing into Jeff starts.
It's bad.
Yeah. Matt says, "I see what you're doing with him," meaning Luchasaurus. "You want to use him to make as much big money as you can. I'm guilty of it too. I used Private Party and Butcher and Blade. I regret that time so badly. The last month of my life has been upside down, but maybe I earned that. I'm out here now to make sure no one else gets taken advantage of." Christian says, "You're out here because of your ego. You're a clout chaser. You can't stand when your name isn't in a headline for more than 2 seconds. You'll even turn a blind eye to your brother and his issues for one last run. You realized I'm the hottest star in AEW and you just wanted to be near me. Your screw-up loser brother isn't the most embarrassing thing to your family. You are." Luchasaurus then headbutts Matt Hardy and kicks his head into the corner post before chokeslamming him through the timekeeper's table. So, he's getting massive heat. Christian is.
I've got 2 things to say here.
Yeah.
1, unrealistic representation, because if I were Matt Hardy and somebody talked about my sibling like that, I would have started swinging the moment their name came out of my mouth. Like, I would have been like, all right, let's go. I would have fucking decked somebody. 2, I hate this shit. And I said this last time with the okay.
Jungle Boy's
Christian Cage yelling at Jungle Boy's mother and sister saying, "You raised a piece of shit." I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. The dad stuff made me feel weird. And then to bring up Jeff Hardy made me feel weird. And yeah, sure, maybe like I have to, with my whole heart, I have to imagine that both parties agreed on this shit both times.
Yeah,
I have to. There's literally no way in hell that I can imagine that Christian Cage was like, "I'm just gonna come out here swinging, and you guys are just gonna take it."
Yeah,
you know?
It's one thing if MJF does that because he's relatively new to the business. Christian Cage is a goddamn professional. He's been around for decades.
Right. So, like, I am sure that both parties agreed. However, I just don't want to hear that shit. It makes me so uncomfortable. It makes me so unhappy. I mean, we're making light of Jeff Hardy, who literally could have fucking ended his shit driving the way he was that night.
Is it making light of
just
it,
doesn't.
though?
It's not making light of it, but it's still like, oh, heel heat, like, oh. It just makes me so uncomfortable. And like, yeah, I'm not your fucking sibling. I'm like, what do I fucking matter? It just makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't like that shit at all.
The Jungle Boy's dad stuff was a lot. That didn't feel as uncomfortable as this because like it I don't really know how to describe it, but like the Jungle Boy's dad stuff is like, it happened, it's in the past. I'm sure it's still traumatic, but it happened. Past tense. The Jeff Hardy stuff is still going on. He's still around. He could still like come back to AEW at some point. So there can be repercussions from this, even if Matt Hardy agreed to this.
I just I don't know, man. Maybe it's because I've like known this stuff myself. I'd be like, that makes me like feel weird.
Unless Tony Khan got on the phone with Jeff Hardy while he was in custody and asked him, "Hey, can we use this for some heat?" He's like,
for fodder,
okay.
if you will.
I'd be fine with it then.
I need like a signed piece of paper that says, "I, Jeff Hardy, said this is fine. I'm also not getting paid to say this." Mm-hmm. It just made me so uncomfortable. And I get it, heel heat, you know? Mm-hmm. But you know what? Roman has mad good heel heat. Or at least in the beginning, it's died out because Roman's never around. But Roman was a good fucking heel. And you know what? Roman never used this shit. And I'm not saying, like, I don't want to do the AEW versus WWE thing. But I'm just saying that you can be a good fucking heel. You can be. Without using this shit.
There was that time Sheamus did it, though. And
I'm talking about Roman, though, so...
I know, but, like...
But also, Jeff Hardy was part of that promo.
Yeah.
You know?
So he signed off on it. And also, we thought the Jeff Hardy was different then.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy was not exactly in a position where he was currently being accused of drink driving, if you will.
Don't get me wrong.
It just...
these promos, aside from the comments here and there, are fantastic. Like, he's doing an amazing job with promos. Like, I'll even forgive the fucking Jungle Boy stuff because it's not my position to be upset at. Like, it's not my responsibility.
Right.
The Jeff Hardy stuff is different. That's a little more shaky because, you know, drunk driving's nothing to joke about.
Yeah, having a random, horrible, tragic event is one thing, for sure. Something that a lot of Americans struggle with, and joking about that feels a little...
He'll probably make another one next week, so we'll continue then. He'll probably talk about, like, fucking something about Taz's past. I don't know.
Yeah, again, I am sure it is Christian Cage. I am sure that Christian Cage got the okay from at least one person who was at the helm of the ship as far as this slander goes.
He's also worked very closely with Matt and Jeff in the past. In multiple companies.
Right. All I'm saying is that as a viewer, I'm uncomfortable and I don't like watching it.
But after that, we had a promo from Claudio Castagnoli and Jake Hager. Jake Hager talked a lot more than I would have wanted Jake Hager to ever talk. He says, "This is no physicality. The 60,000 people at the Forbidden Door may have him thinking he's tough, but you weren't world champion in Ring of Honor or WWE. I'm undefeated in MMA." Claudio says, "Everyone that says they..." Hager says he demands respect. Claudio says, "Everyone that says they want respect doesn't deserve respect at all. My team beat your team at Blood and Guts. I got my arm raised. You may be an undefeated MMA fighter, but I'm undefeated in AEW where rankings matter. And next week I'm gonna make it 3-0. And next week I believe is Fighter Fest, which is always fun. I think what happened at the last Fighter
Is that
Fest?
Next week?
I think it's next week. I'm pretty sure Fighter Fest 2020 had Shaq. I think, if I remember correctly. Last year's Fighter Fest had... Oh, that was Jericho versus Spears. That was Lance versus Mox for the IWGP U.S. title, the Texas Death Match. So that was great. Britt versus Nyla. Let's see. Ooh, Yuka Sakazaki versus Penelope Ford. That was a great match. And Ricky Starks versus Brian Cage. Yeah, so it wasn't as big last year, but I do remember Fyter Fest being a lot of fun. But then we have Butcher and the Blade versus Swerve in Our Glory.
Right on. So we kind of get a funky little I'm dodging you and I'm jumping over you and I'm ducking you kind of shit from Blade and Swerve. And Swerve goes to jump over Blade and he doesn't make it. And he kind of snaps Blade with his little leggy. And they really tried to be Excalibur tried to be like, oh, well, Swerve landed with a sort of leg drop. And I was like, yeah, you're fucking, it was a leg drop. You're right. Because his leg dropped on Blade as he tried to dodge the man. Anyways, so Swerve then, however, does trip Blade successfully, purposefully. Keith Lee gets in, he topples Blade. Swerve drop kicks Blade's little nose. Swerve gets back in and holds Blade against the ropes as Keith Lee bear paws his little chest. Swerve ends up getting hit with a jawbreaker, though, and Blade sweeps the leg of Swerve as he's on the apron. Swerve then uppercuts Butcher, who ends up getting him. Swerve throws Blade into Butcher. Butcher gets flatlined, and then we get like a little combo enziguri elbow. The enziguri's from Swerve, the elbow's from Keith. Lee then sends Swerve into the ropes. Blade hits Lee with a stunner. And Lee looks like he's like fucking flabbergasted. He's like, how the fuck did I accidentally smash my opponent or my tag team mate, if you will, my tag mate? Butcher ends up sending Lee from the ring. Then Butcher puts Swerve up top, tosses him into a boot from Blade. However, that does not mean jack fucking shit at the end of the day, because we get a Swerve in their glory to Blade for Swerve in our glory to win.
Yeah. But after the match, Hobbs and Starks run in. And Hobbs starts off hot. He says, you guys are pissing us off. You think you can come out and disrespect us. Stark says, me and Hobbs have been really nice because we could have ended your career, whether it be online or in the ring, or online or with the mic. You want to act like you're somebody. We have proven there are levels to this. You are several levels below us. You think you have a shot at us? I'll beat your ass right now. Want to talk about who the best tag team is? And then on cue, the Young Bucks walk in, and Matt says, Ricky, you may as well have cued our music. I'm sorry I came out and interrupted. Oh wait, I don't have to apologize because we started the company. This tag division is on fire. Everybody's eating well. But let us not forget who set the table in the first place. Nick says, no disrespect. You guys are very good. You guys, you had a great match. I think it was 4.5 stars. You guys couldn't even get the job done. Guess who beat Jurassic Express a few weeks later? Read it and mother effing weep. Matt says, we have a proposal for you. How about we go triple or nothing? How about next week, a 3-way tag team title match? You guys, and the FTR chants are going. Nick says, we're better than them. And Matt says, and the best tag team of all time, the Young Bucks. Now, I've been seeing some talk on Twitter that maybe this is playing into the story to eventually get Young Bucks and FTR, which is Bucks are ducking FTR. Because they know they're the best.
Yeah.
Which that would be a really interesting story and definitely be a great way to get that match. And I really hope FTR doesn't lose their titles at Death Before Dishonor. I really hope.
I don't think they're about to. I think if anything, they're going to have the Ring of Honor titles, and I think the AEW titles, and I think they're going to be titled up.
8-star FTR.
Holy fuck.
What?
The Yankees are smacking the Pirates' asses right now.
So then we have a promo from Malachi Black. He says, I envy you, John. You didn't get the luxury of your decisions. Or we didn't get the luxury of your decisions. Our violence is by design. Crossover, perhaps? Forbidden Door 2? Violent by Design versus House of Black? You think you know pain, anger, violence? I will make sure Brody King will leave its mark on you. The house will make sure anything you experience will go far beyond the physical realm of pain. I envy you, John. And then Eddie Kingston comes out to the ring for an interview. He says, Wardlow, congratulations, brother. Congratulations to everybody that was on the team that won Blood and Guts. Even you, Claudio. He says, see, I'm a nice guy. I'm maturing. Here's the real deal. Jericho, you made me a liar. I didn't taste your blood. You didn't bleed. I'm going to get you again. And then we cut to Jericho in the garage, and he's like, you want to taste my blood? And then it shows Ruby Soho. It's very weird. Ruby Soho is like suffering from some pain. Like she was just attacked. She's up against the car.
Yeah, she'd been like, yeah.
And you can see Ty is like holding the door to the car. It's wide open. She's holding it. She's very clearly ready to slam that on Ruby's hand. And Ruby moves her hand into place on her own, out of her own volition, wanting it. And then gets the door slammed on her hand before JAS walk off. I feel like they could have just had, like, get a third person in there and hold down Ruby's hand. I don't know. It was kind of ridiculous, but so is I'm going to burn your face with a fireball because I'm a wizard. But then we go back out to the ring where Dark Order's coming out. And this is special because Brody Lee is from Rochester, which is where today's show is. And Brody Jr. is with them. So I think John Silver says Dark Order is in Rochester, and Rochester is Dark Order country. Evil Uno says, that is why it is very important to say this here today. We have important news for you. Every single one of you has followed us here from the beginning. I want to thank every one of you for supporting us, and that's why it's very important I get to say this. The 6 of us are here to stay. Dark Order is forever. We begin a new chapter, and that new chapter comes with a proclamation. And he says he's going to hand off the mic to Brody Jr. to make that proclamation. But then QT Marshall comes out. And he says, how long are we going to put up with this charity case? I get it, kid. Your dad is from Rochester, New York. But you ain't your father. He's a legend in AEW. He beat me in 5 minutes in his first match here. You take after your mother. Get your friends out of here and face me man to man. I love how he wants to fight a fucking child.
Yeah, the line "you take after your mother" made me feel weird, but then I was like, he's just trying to fight like an 8-year-old. So I guess I can't really base this off of anything because, like, I guess that is what a guy who wants to beat up an 8-year-old would say.
Now you've got Christian Cage heat, and then you got QT Marshall heat, who wants to literally fight a child. Oh God.
Which at the very least, the one thing that makes this like better than like anything else, or better than Christian Cage, is that the only person who could okay this bullshit is literally his mother. Like, no one else is probably allowed to be like, yeah, this is fine. Because, like, it's a child.
Yeah. But at the same time,
so at least
you can't really compare the two because one's a comedy promo, one's a serious promo.
Right. No, absolutely.
But QT says, face me man to man before I go grab each and every one of your toys and rip their heads off one by one. But then Hangman comes out, and him and Uno start beating up on QT. Then everyone gets in on it. And they have, they've got him in the ring. Uno hands the mic to -1, who says, QT, I would pin you right now, but I'm going to wait until I'm 19.
And I was like, don't you have to only wait till you're 18, buddy?
I'm curious how old he is now. Like, how long do we have to wait before he can pin QT? I doubt he has like any kind of, yeah, no, probably like 10 years, 10 maybe less, maybe like 9-8 years for him to pin QT. So can't wait for that long-term booking. But after that we had Penta Oscuro versus Roosh.
Yes.
This was Roosh's singles debut because he was at the Battle Royal, right?
Yes. He debuted at the Battle Royal. So we start with a super kick to Roosh, and then we get a waist lock ringside to Roosh. But Penta gets an old elbow. He hits Roosh with an arm drag, though. Back in the ring, we get an elbow strike that sends Penta to the mat. Roosh drops Penta, does a couple of push-ups prior to covering, and I was like, okay, sure, show off. He doesn't get the pin, though, which makes it look kind of like, all right, Roosh. We get a sling blade to Roosh, and then another after Roosh tries to take the mask off of Penta. Then a little brawl breaks out. A little brawl between Mr. Alex Abrahantes and Jose, the assistant. They just go at it. Alex just spears him.
A very noticeable lack of shirtlessness from Jose, though.
Yeah, what the fuck?
You would think if there was any time to take off your shirt, it would be if you're in a fight against someone.
However, Alex spears Jose. They start fighting. Phoenix kind of half-assedly breaks it up. And by that, I mean he kind of is like, Alex, no. Don't do that. Stay over there. He doesn't fucking care. He wants to see this shit happen. He wants to see a brawl. He wants blood. We then get a backstabber from Penta, which meets a power slam from Roosh. But then we get another backstabber from Penta. But Roosh gets a headbutt to Penta and then a knee strike, and then sentons onto him. Penta, however, rolls through, hits a cutter to Roosh, and goes for the fear factor, but Andrade puts Roosh's boot on the ropes, and the mask then gets torn off of Mr. Penta's face. Mark saw his face. I did not, because I'm respectful.
I didn't really
Roosh
see
wins.
his face. I just, like, because it was from a distance.
All the same, Roosh wins, and then Phoenix, the good brother that he is, comes in, takes his jacket off, and covers his brother's face with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't realize that Penta had that much fucking hair, by the way.
Yeah, I thought he was bald.
He had a lot of hair.
Also, apparently, AEW Rampage accidentally started streaming on Fight today. The stream ended before it ended, but before the show concluded. But
yeah,
that's crazy. They just accidentally streamed it instead of recording it. So then we have,
as they say, somebody's getting fired.
yeah. I can't imagine they got very far in.
No.
Thanks for stopping by, Islam Pride. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for hanging out.
So then we had a promo from Jay Lethal and Co. I think Satnam says, oh no, not Satnam, Sanjay says, death before dishonor, my best friend will pin you, Samoa Joe. Jay says, you are a tough champion, which is why we aren't taking you lightly, but we will be taking your championship. And then Satnam just says, new champion. This feud feels like it's been going on forever. And no matches have come out of it. I understand Joe's been busy, but at the same time, Joe probably has friends. have Jay fighting people on TV in the name of fighting Samoa Joe, like in progression of this. I understand it's like it's a tough spot, but you can introduce new pieces to the puzzle. Like who's someone you could throw in as like a Samoa Joe fan or a Samoa Joe student that could be taking his place for the time being, feuding against Jay? Maybe Lee Moriarty. Maybe fuck it, Fuego del Sol.
Please.
Christopher Daniels. Frankie Kazarian. Kaz and Joe. I'm sure they've been a part of the same promotion at some point. I think they were both in TNA together.
Yeah.
Like there are people you could throw in this feud. Like they got a huge ass roster and a huge ass bundle of people they can reach from within like their indie guys, their freelance guys. Like let me go through the roster real quick and just pick a fucking name out of a hat that could represent Samoa Joe in somewhere. For Colt Cabana. I know there was a whole thing with Colt's contract. Apparently he's re-signed to AEW now. According to him, I think it was on his podcast. But Colt Cabana was in Ring of Honor. You could make up some bullshit about him being a friend of Samoa Joe, feuding with Jay Lethal. There you go. You got a feud. You got some more TV time for Jay Lethal. Another name, maybe I already said Frankie Kazarian. Like fucking bring Kip Sabian back.
You know what? I don't know what that man is doing, but I know he was wrestling. Where the fuck is Kip Sabian?
Still in the crowd with that paper bag on his head. Cardboard box.
I'm literally about to like go to an AEW pay-per-view and just drag him out. Be like, here's the man, use him.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Like fucking get Sean Dean. Sean Dean. Make up some bullshit. He looked up to Samoa Joe. Get him wrestling Jay Lethal. Have him lose. It doesn't matter. Get Sean Dean more TV time. Because fucking no one's gonna care if he loses. No one's gonna care if he beats fucking, I don't know, Sanjay. He's not gonna beat Jay. Well, he could beat him with like in a fluke match. But like Sean could do with some more TV time.
Yep.
Sean Spears. Well, they're both kind of heels, so maybe not. I don't know, Wheeler Yuta. It's Yuta up to now after Blood and Guts? Nothing. Yeah, like there's so much to just reach from. But I get it. It's a complicated situation. Anyway, after that we had Best Friends with approached by Mark Sterling. And Sterling hands a contract to Orange Cassidy saying they just need one signature. And Orange says, I don't read anything without my lawyer. Danhausen then walks in saying he's Orange's lawyer. Sterling says, how about I make you sign it? Why doesn't my client wrestle you on Rampage? But Danhausen then says, I have a better idea. How about you wrestle him on Rampage? And then Sterling says, that's exactly what I just suggested. And if he wins, you sign this. Orange just says, I'll allow it. So I doubt Tony Nese is winning because they're not about to just kick Swerve Strickland out of AEW. But anyway, after that we have the Acclaimed and Gun Club versus Roughing It and Fuego del Sol.
Yeah, I didn't really think that this is going to have like a big like match to it, and it had a bigger match to it than I thought it would.
You know what?
So I'm apologizing for that.
Leon Ruffin. Stick him against Jay Lethal. Fucking Leon Ruff had an incredible run as North American champion in NXT. Give him some shit. Something that's not just a jobber match. I know you just said this is like a little more than we expected, but it's still a jobber match.
I was expecting more from Leon Ruff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Austin Gunn drops Fuego on the ground. Colton comes in. Bowens kind of realizes that he's got to work together with the Gun Boy, the Ass Boys, to win this. But Bear Bronson powerbombs Austin Gunn, nearly wins off of that. Bowens then gets in, sends an elbow to Bronson, and then a kick before a famouser?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, it was a famouser.
A sack rider? I don't know. Mark's saying it's a famouser. I listen, I only know it as a sack rider because that was the last time I saw it. I haven't seen Dolph Ziggler in so long.
Yeah.
I miss him.
He was on the John Cena 20th anniversary episode, but like not in a match. He was just in a backstage segment.
Dolph is one of those like nostalgic folks where I'm like, I miss my boy. Also, bring back Glorious Domination. Anyways, so we get a famouser, and then Austin Gunn manages to get the win over Bear Country, Roughing It, and
yeah. Also, apparently Billy Gunn's famouser is called the Fame-Asser.
Okay, so you know what's funny? I was looking something up, and for Dolph, that's what they called it, the Fame-Asser.
Okay. So after the match, like there's some shit started between the Acclaimed and Gun Club, because the Gun Club stole the win from the Acclaimed. Billy Gunn gets involved. He gets in between them. He pushes down the Acclaimed, and Gun Club are very happy about it because they got their dad back, supposedly.
They got their dad back.
Caster gets pushed down, and Bowens is like, he's holding up the scissors, wanting Daddy to scissor him. But don't give me that face. It's exactly how they'd put it.
It's literally too late. You said it.
But instead, Daddy Ass gives him a Fame-Asser, and he's reunited with the Gun Club. Probably an awful decision career-wise, because who's gonna go farther, the Acclaimed or Gun Club? Who stands out more?
Who needs more help too, though?
That's
because I think Gun Club needs more help getting their asses up on the stage than the Acclaimed does. The Acclaimed very much steals the spotlight over the Gun Club.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, you got a point. So then we had a promo from Miro. He says, Malachi Black, we are a different kind of men. You collect the weak, I dispose of them. The Redeemer is coming, enraged. And then we have Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir versus Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa.
Speaking of matches that had a little them than
Little what? You cut out a little bit.
a little more to them than I thought they would.
Oh, I see. I expected this to be exactly how it was. I thought this was a lot of fun. I knew it was.
Well, see, okay, here's the thing. AEW did the thing that AEW does, where AEW says, here's a couple of matches for the first hour. Also, here's the last hour, and it's like 15 matches, and you're like, fuck!
Yeah.
Stop!
I also think that Toni Storm is helping Tony Khan see more to the women's division than he initially did, because we're seeing Toni Storm a lot. And we're seeing kind of longer women's matches. Not too much longer, but we're seeing them get a bit more attention than they had in the past.
You're right.
Ever since Toni Storm debuted.
Perhaps if the people that Mr. Khan was trying to please would stick around for the fucking women's matches on Rampage, this would have gone even longer. I don't know. That's just me. Anyways. Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. If they had stuck around for that much longer, then maybe, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So we immediately get a beatdown. It's Nyla and Marina going after Thunderstorm, if you will. Marina ends up fighting Tony. That's who kind of they technically start the match. We get a head scissors to Tony and a drop kick. Thunderstorm just fucking rocks Marina. Marina spends most of her time in this match getting her ass whooped, which at least they sold the moves.
Yeah.
Tony and Marina end up getting tangled up. Thunder Rosa gets in. She kicks Marina. We get a short range hip attack though to Marina from Tony. And at this point, my brain was just like, brother, let her go. Just let her breathe for like 10 minutes even. We end up getting some body shots to Tony and an elbow to Rosa. But the elbow to Rosa kind of takes up time, so Tony gets a little bit of offense in. We plant Tony. This gets Nyla in, though. Rosa gets chokeslammed by Nyla, and then Marina gets right back in. And I was like, that's not how wrestling works. But fantastic. We then get a pump handle throw to Rosa. Tony breaks up the cover, and then a hip attack to Marina from Tony. Rosa ends up lifting her, and Tony goes off the top of the buckles and sort of assists the pile driver for Thunder Rosa to win the match.
Assists the Fire Thunder driver.
She assists the Fire Thunder driver for Rosa to win the match.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. All these women can go very, very hard.
Yeah, no, they're insane.
So then we get...
Would not want to take a Tony Storm hip attack any given day, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get your skull caved in. So then we get an interview with Jade and the baddies. Jade mixes up a little bit. She starts with Tony cut the shit.
Yeah.
She said, Tony cut the shit. Stokely, what the hell was that? Stokely says, if AEW can have interim world champion, we can have interim baddie. I know my math. 3-on-2 is better than 2-on-2. You know what they say. Trust the process. Jade says, if she doesn't deliver, then it's on your ass. And Layla Gray is kind of left with Tony Schiavone there alone, and he's got to just like awkwardly standing there. This is great. Fucking Jade and the baddies are gold. This is we've got Diamond Mine in WWE, but this is a literal diamond mine. It is money.
That's true.
Then we have an interview with Daniel Garcia after it was announced that Daniel Garcia will be challenging Wheeler Yuta for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship at a Death Before Dishonor. Garcia says, last week, Yuta, I put my foot on your neck and there wasn't anything you could do. You had my blood in your hands, but you don't strike an ounce of fear in me. Give me a shot for that title. You can call me wrestler or sports entertainer, but soon you'll call me champion. We then get a promo from FTR, but it's more like a promo from Cash. Cash says, we are 7-star FTR. Ring of Honor returns to pay-per-view, and teams say they're the best in the world. But if Ring of Honor wants to sell out a pay-per-view, we need the rematch of a decade. Briscoe's FTR Part 2. If you want to be king, you need to kill a king. But I would have preferred a new team step up, but at the same time, there are really no teams built right now to step up. Unless they want to have like a fucking AEW match like FTR and Bucks. But I feel like that wouldn't be right for Ring of Honor right now. Briscoes are a good choice, but they need to start building some new teams, which I think they are doing right now.
Yeah.
Because you got Tully Blanchard Promotions with Khan and the other guy. I forget his name. It's not Moses.
Boy,
it's somebody new. Because Moses was in Ring of Honor.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I only know that Khan is in that group.
Yeah. They haven't announced who's challenging Gresham yet, right?
I don't think so.
They feel like I feel like it's gonna be Lee Moriarty since they're kind of buddy right now.
Could be.
But the next challenger has to be Brian Cage, because Cage is in that Tully Blanchard promotions thing. They're feuding with Gresham and Moriarty. We haven't seen Cage appear yet since they debuted, so I feel like it's a matter of time before Cage challenges Gresham, which will be really cool. That'll be a really awesome match.
Oh.
Maybe we'll get a Cage rapping again. All right, final match of the evening. We had Jon Moxley versus Brody King for the AEW Interim World Championship. This is pretty fun.
Yeah,
it's pretty great.
It was here there. Brody ends up getting Moxley ringside, sends him into like every single arcade that's within reach. Back in the ring, we get a dragon screw and a figure 4 onto Brody. Moxley then sends Brody into the buckles and he backbreaks Brody, superplexes him. We get a pile driver to Moxley, but it's not enough for the pin. Mox goes for the paradigm shift to Brody, but Moxley takes 5,000 fucking years to take advantage and cover. Clearly it doesn't work. When it doesn't work, he goes for the hammer and anvil elbows. And then he goes for the bulldog. But Brody's a big boy, so he kind of like, he gets like a rear naked, but like on his back, like he's just snuggling him. He's koalaing. Brody ends up falling back, but Mox goes into the rear naked and ends up being the bulldog to win the match.
Yeah. I love that I forget who it was that said that. Taz said, we'll be sticking with this as long as it takes. Even
they went a minute over.
They went 2 minutes over. Meanwhile, NXT, not to make comparisons, but NXT consistently goes like 10-15 minutes past. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But that's our recap for this evening. You want to talk about some bests of the night?
Let's talk about best of the night while I fake wear my new t-shirt.
All right, let's if you have a question for us, please leave it in the chat now. We will answer it after the bests of the night. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment and we'll get to it in the next one. If you're listening on Spotify, join us at twitch.tv/Pinball Podcast to chat with us live. Or DM us.
This sign is unbearable tonight.
Or DM us on Twitter at Pinfall Podcast. All right.
All right, please don't hurt me tonight anymore.
So
it's been twice now.
Let's talk about promo of the night. I mean, there are 2 contenders in my opinion. Maybe 3 with a little forgiveness. Yeah, for me, it's between Hobbs, Starks, and the Bucks. Or it's between Moxley from the very beginning, unless we're willing to forgive Christian Cage.
I'm not.
All right, so then between Mox or the Bucks / Hobbs and Starks.
Mox.
Really?
Mostly because I just didn't absorb much from the Bucks.
You didn't absorb much?
From that promo, no.
When they challenged them to a triple threat winner-take-all match?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what promo you're talking about. I just didn't absorb much from it.
Huh, all right. You sure you don't want to make Claudio and Jake Hager the winner?
To be fair, Jake Hager did like drop WWE in that.
It's easy
promo,
to say
so...
WWE after reading a script. Although I don't think they give scripts in AEW, actually.
There's just something about you saying, oh god, there's a fucking cat in here. There's something about you saying, it's easy to say WWE if it's in the script. Like, if it weren't in the script, Jake Hager would have struggled with that one.
I feel like he would have. I feel like they gave him a script. Like, just him.
Maybe.
But Danielson was talking about how
Okay.
they don't give scripts in AEW. Like, he just has to do it. Speak from the heart.
That's fair.
All right, we'll give it to Mox, I guess.
Does anyone want to see a cat?
Let's talk about.
Do you want to see a cat?
I'll see a cat.
Girl. Come here.
First, you steal the egg, then you derail the show. What's next?
Yeah. It's a cat. Wasn't she great?
She was.
Special co-host.
Let's talk about Wrestler of the Night. All right, and feel free to give different options, a fourth option if you are unhappy with any of these choices. So, okay. Roosh, Swerve Strickland, or Jon Moxley.
Don't lick my leg. Don't lick my leg. Roosh, Swerve, don't lick my other leg. Or Mox. I'll give it to Roosh, actually. I really liked Roosh in this. Yeah.
I don't know if I agree because I don't remember anything Roosh did.
Oh, you gave me him as an option, so.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in the moment I liked him, but I don't remember.
Swerve. Oh, please don't bite my leg either.
I don't think that's an option. You keep
fighting a war
derailing
over here. I'm fighting a war. Screw my skin and my cat.
All right, we'll just go with Roosh. All right, let's talk about match of the night.
Me versus cat.
All right, so as always, we go from the worst match to the best match of the night. We'll talk about which match is the match of the night. So, starting off with the worst match of the night, with a 3 out of 10, Wardlow versus Scorpio Sky. I did not enjoy him. I thought it was pretty overbooked, pretty lame. I get it, Wardlow can lay out multiple men. He did so, but I wanted a singles match, street fight. This wasn't really a street fight.
We might get a rematch.
Oh, I really hope we do.
At the very least.
Next up, 5 out of 10, Butcher and the Blade versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. I thought it was a pretty decent match. Nothing too special. Yeah, it was pretty fun. Next, 6 out of 10, Brody King versus... Oh, is that right? Did I put... No. Next up, Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir versus Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm. Yeah, it was a fun match. It was really fun. Didn't have much else to it. It was like your typical face challenger teams up with the face champion, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Next, 6 out of 10, Penta Oscaro versus Roosh. It was fun. Kind of didn't really feel too important. I'm tired, honestly, of the mask stuff. It doesn't feel special anymore. It makes me sad. Yeah.
It also makes me feel really sad.
Mm-hmm. Because like it's supposed to be like it's a huge thing for a wrestler.
It should be a very big thing.
Yeah, but now it feels like it happens like every week. Because I think it does happen every week. It happened last week too.
Yep.
Yeah, on Rampage. Before we tuned in.
Yeah. Okay.
And then my pick for match of the night, I guess, Brody King versus Jon Moxley. It was fun. These guys can certainly go. It wasn't anything super special though.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
Do you agree?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I do. Yeah. No, that's what I meant by I get what you're saying. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Then we've got our best of the night. So Liz, would you like to close out the show?
Pepita, would you like to close out the show after you bit me 5 times? Oh, you want to just sit there now? Okay. Pepita doesn't want to close out the show. Before we close out the show, I just want to show off this shirt that I will eventually wear. This was $40. And it was worth it. Listen, I spent $40 on this goddamn thing. I'm going to show it off. Okay? I think that's only fair. Look at that shit. Every ridiculous Zack Sabre Jr. finisher or signature. With that said, come on.
Can't even keep the hat
let's close
on
out
it.
the show. Okay, I'm sorry that he's an egg. If you tuned in tonight, thank you so much. Egg and I appreciate it. And if you tuned in the future, thank you so much. Egg and I appreciate it. Don't you appreciate it, Egg? I do. Yeah, okay. Please tune in tomorrow night to see more Liz and Egg. Egg and Liz. We'll be here talking about Impact and the wrestling that happens on Impact. And Pepito will not bite me this time.
Thank you all so much for watching. Follow and subscribe. All of our stuff, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Spotify is all Pinfall Podcast. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And we'll see you all tomorrow for Impact Wrestling recap. We will not... should we just say we're not doing a weekend show? There's nothing going on. We're not.
That's fair. I'm doing my
I can see
Princess
what you're
Margaret.
doing. I can see what you're doing. You don't have to describe it.
This is my Princess Margaret portrait pose with the egg.
Yeah, so we won't be doing a weekend show this weekend. So catch us after Impact on Tuesday for our regularly scheduled 2K22 stream. But until then, have a great rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow for Impact. Bye-bye.